electronic devices. Just a reminder, no one may approach the dais. Chair, we are ready to begin.
Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, Councilmember.
Okay, so you didn't hear anything just now? No. Okay, I'll start again. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Natasha Williams, and I serve as chair to the Committee on Civil and Human Rights. This morning, we will be voting on a bill sponsored by Councilmember Lisa Ressler, proposed Intro 69A in relation to prohibiting provisions in employment agreements that shorten the period in which claims and complaints of unlawful discriminatory practices, harassment, or violence may be filed, and which civil actions may be commenced. The New York City human rights law is one of the most comprehensive of its kind in the nation, and while we as lawmakers take great pride in knowing this, we also know there's always room for improvement when it comes to strengthening and protecting the rights of New Yorkers. Under Title 8 of the Administrative Code, people have 1 year to file a complaint with the New York City Commission on Human Rights, also known as CCHR, for an unlawful discriminatory practice or act of discriminatory harassment or violence, and 3 years to file a claim of gender-based harassment. Additionally, they may commence a civil action within 3 years. Proposed Intro 69A would make unenforceable and void any provision of any employment agreement that attempts to shorten such periods. Given that CCHR reports that the highest number of inquiries that they receive relate to employment, most often on the basis of gender or disability, it is crucial that we do what is within our power to ensure victims of such behavior or actions are not taken advantage of due to these agreements that may try to encroach on their right to seek legal recourse after they have been harmed. Before we begin to vote, I will turn it over to Councilmember Ressler for some remarks on his bill.
Thank you so much, Chair Williams. No one should ever have to deal with harassment or discrimination in the workplace. But when these unfortunate incidents occur, New Yorkers can rely on our landmark human rights law to protect them in court. Unfortunately, many large employers, indeed the largest private employer in New York State, has started forcing employees to sign contracts that undermine and limit their rights. Under the city's human rights laws, employees currently have 3 whole years to file claims for discrimination or harassment or violence in the workplace. Employees, though, have been unknowingly signing contracts when they apply for jobs or when they begin employment that shorten this period to as brief a time as 6 months. These contracts are unreasonable and they are absolutely contrary to public policy. 6 months is simply not enough time for aggrieved workers to recover, find a lawyer, and file a claim, especially given the high likelihood of the threat of retaliation, which discourages many employees from immediately filing claims. Intro 69 will restore the intent of our strong human rights law and ensure that no private employers can create their own loopholes. Every employee should have a full 3 years to file a claim. I really want to thank the Speaker for her strong support of this legislation, and I especially want to thank Chair Williams. Chair Williams was the first co-prime sponsor of this bill. She held a hearing on this bill last session and immediately upon the new session beginning offered to hold an additional public hearing on this legislation. She's been an incredible champion for this legislation and I deeply appreciate it. I also want to thank a constituent of mine, Ann Clark, who brought this issue to our attention. She's a renowned employment attorney, labor lawyer, and she helped guide us in the crafting of this bill. And then especially, last but not least, I want to thank my Chief of Staff, Molly Haley, who brilliantly pulled this all together and got us to this point. So thank you so much. I hope my colleagues will support this consequential piece of legislation to protect all workers in New York City. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Ressler, and congratulations. And now I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Thank you. Good morning, William Martin, Committee Clerk. Roll call vote, Committee on Civil and Human Rights. Proposed introduction 69-A. Chair Williams.
I vote aye. Congrats, Lincoln.
Thank you. Salamanca.
Aye, no.
Riley.
Aye.
Marte.
Aye.
Joseph.
Aye.
By a vote of 5 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and no abstentions, item has been adopted by the committee. And Madam Chair, that is a full committee.
All right. This committee meeting is closed.